Good morning, this is Kim, and today I'm going to be talking with you about safe places for money. That is the topic in our book for this week. And we are going to explore all the options available to us to store our money safely. So, safe places for money. Over here, I want to direct you to the investment pyramid. This is important to us because it's going to also guide our learning for the next month or so. The investment pyramid has 4 different areas. We are going to be talking about this area down here today, and this is called cash equivalents. Cash equivalents. Now, we don't know all the cash equivalents yet, but we will learn by the end of this video. So let me first go over here now to this risk continuum. So as you can see, risk for all these different categories of investments in this pyramid is different. So down here at the bottom, we have very low or no risk. And up here at the top then, we would have very high risk investments. So what do you think are in these 3 categories? Here, at the second level, we're going to be learning about bonds. Next level, we're going to be learning about stocks. And up here, we're going to be learning about other higher risk alternatives. So we'll just call these higher risk. So you can see if you drew over here, they would be at the different levels of the risk continuum. Now, what is risk? Well, risk is the chance that we're going to lose all our money. So when we talk about risk here, so there's low, no risk of losing any of your money when you put it in cash equivalents. On the other hand, there's a high potential for risk, either gaining a lot of money or losing a lot of money for investments up in this top level, and then everything in between. So the real big question should be is why? Why are we looking at cash equivalents? Why do we need them? Well, in my life, I look at them by saying, or thinking about all the things that happen that I don't prepare for. For example, I could have significant car repairs that cost me hundreds of dollars, and I didn't plan those in for my monthly budget, so I would have to look for other sources of money to pay for those when they come up. And I think it's really important to have set aside some amount of money that is safe. It's not invested or exposed to the stock market risk or anything like that. It's just available for all the stuff that happens. If I didn't have this money, alternately, I might use a credit card, which is really the last thing I want you to do is turn to a credit card because you don't have money sitting around available in some sort of cash equivalent. So the first reason why is really something called, and I'm sure you've heard of this, is an emergency fund. Emergency funds are available for us to go to. Doesn't necessarily need to be an emergency, but it's some money that something came up and we need the money. Maybe there's a gift we have to buy, a little trip we have to take. It could be anything. So, primary purpose, emergency funds. Now, what are some characteristics of these? Well, of course, we know right here, they're low risk. Low risk, which means if you deposit $100, for example, 2 months from now, you will still have your $100. You're not going to lose any money in interest. But for that low risk, there's also low return. And again, return is how much money we can make. Well, in assets that are low risk, we're not going to expect much return, and that being percent. What else do we know about these? Low risk, low return. By the way, another way of thinking of low return is safe. They are very safe. Okay, besides that, what I want to point out is that they really serve as the foundation for your investment all your investments. You need to have a little bit of money in cash. It's very important that we have this money in cash because we really can't become an investor until we have some of these other things taken care of. We have a little bit of money in emergency fund. We have very little or manageable credit that we're dealing with, and have extra money that we've set aside that we can start moving up the pyramid. So I'm going to write down here also that it is an important foundation. Alternative to credit, number of good reasons why we have these. So now, well, what are they? What are the cash equivalents where we can put our money and earn some interest if possible? They come in 3 flavors. The first flavor over here are bank products. And there are 3 types of bank products that we're going to be looking at today. 3. The second flavor are government products. And when I'm talking about government, I'm talking about the federal government here. 3 types of federal government products. And then the last product is going to be an investment company product. Investment company. What's an investment company? Well, if you think about it, Schwab, Vanguard, Fidelity, etc. So those are all the different types of investment companies. So again, 3 products here, 3 products here at the government level, and then 1 product at the investment company level. So let's start taking a look. I'm going to make a new sheet over here because we're going to start capturing rates. Okay, so up here we have bank, here we have government, and here we have investment company. I'm just going to put IC. Okay, so the first bank product that we're going to be looking at is your typical savings. And I think you know what a savings account is, so I'm not going to really go into that. The second type of product under a bank is called an MMA, or a money market account. And the last bank product is a CD. So the difference between a savings and a money market account you can read in your book, but I'm just going to tell you briefly that this is more restrictive. In other words, sometimes money market accounts might require you to have a minimum balance. That might be a restriction. The difference between a money market account and a CD is that in a CD, what you do is you take a sum of money, $500,000, and you give it to a bank, and the bank in return gives you an interest rate. But the requirement is that the bank is able to hold on to your money for a fixed amount of time. That could be 6 months, that could be a year, it could be 5 years. So there are terms that go with it. How much time are you giving that money to the bank? Because when the bank has that money, it's not accessible to you. If you take that money out, you're going to incur great penalties and lose all your interest that you had gained. So again, the CD is a bank product that is most restrictive. Most restrictive. Next, moving over to government products, we have something called the T-bill or Treasury bill. Now, a T-bill is a government bond, so to speak, that matures in less than 1 year. So in other words, in this case, you would give the government your money, and then again, you would earn interest on that money depending on the term you picked. But all the terms are going to be less than a year. And when you buy a 1-year T-bill, for example, they would hold on to your money for 1 year, and then at the end of the year, you would get your money back and a little bit of interest. The other type of government products that we look on a little bit are these EE savings bonds. So I don't know if you know anyone or you have perhaps a savings bond that you received as a child. Maybe you did. The other type of saving bonds we're going to look at are I savings bonds. Okay? Finally, investment company product, we're going to look at a similar money market product through an investment company. Okay, so let's go take a look at these different products and see what our rates are like. So now I'm going to pop into a web browser, and I'm going to go to this website, which is important. It's called bankrate.com. So here I am at bankrate.com, and I want to start looking up rates for local banks in Sacramento and also other banks that are not in Sacramento. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to look at savings and checking right there, and I'm going to select a product, just savings, money market and savings accounts right here, as you can see, and I'm going to click next. Okay. Note up here, this says National Highest Money Market Account. What I want to find are money market accounts and savings accounts from our local bank. So I'm going to hit Change Search right there, and I'm going to click on Local. California, Sacramento, still looking for money market and savings accounts. Click Search. Now, I think it's safe to assume that a lot of students in this class probably have accounts at Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, perhaps Golden One. Those would be the most popular. So I'm going to look down here. These are some of the banks. Here's Golden One right here. Here's a savings account. So the amount of interest on a savings account at Golden One for 1 year is 0.15%. Okay, 0.15%. So if I go here, put this back up, savings, so far, I'm gonna make this easier for you. I'm gonna say that we're gonna deposit $1,000. So on a savings account at Golden One, just put G1, $1,000 at 0.15%. Do you know what that equals? $1.50. $1.50 that you would make per year on $1,000 at Golden One. Okay, back here. So that's Golden One. Typical bank students might use. I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to now go to, there's U.S. Bank, Bank of America, right here. And that's Bank of America Money Market. It's 0.03. Here's Bank of America's Savings.